Greetings, everyone. This is Speaking with the Sage with Yamaya Faye and Jacqueline. Greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings. All right.
Greetings.
Exactly. All right. So, welcome back. Welcome back. If you haven't seen our other previous episodes of Speaking with the Sage, please do check it out. It's going to be in the link or up here in the corner. Please do, because I'm sure you will receive much enlightenment from those videos. In this video, we're talking about something that's quite common. It's something that a lot of people do seek in their life, and really seeing the difference between, these two words, because it's all about words are very powerful, right?
Yes.
And it's good to have the definition of the word so you can use the appropriate one for your life, because you're putting a spell over your life. You're creating your life.
Yeah.
So these two words are happiness. I want to be happy, however, and joy. I want to be joyful. And what's the difference between the two? In the media, I must say, a lot of people say we want to be happy. Want to be happy.
Yeah, they do.
However, it's more, I would say, joy that we're seeking, and we're just going to talk about it a little bit more. And definitely with asking the sage here, because I listen, we're close, okay? We're close. Whenever
we are
now it's like an inside joke, and you guys will be on it as well. Whenever we hear something online or a commercial, whatever, it's like, you want to be happy, and I always look at and I'm just like joyful. She's like, joyful people seek joy. So,
yes.
what are they seeking? What's happiness and what's joy to you? Please explain to the audience.
Well, that's a good one. I love how things cycle back to you, like regardless if it was something good or bad, they come back to you. So may it be a word or action, some form of deed. That's why you want to make sure you sow a good seed. I'm just saying, a good seed. I like this question a whole lot because I believe that we all evolve in these two words, and it's very true because they are two words, and oftentimes, like many other words, we use them interchangeably, most definitely interchangeably, out of context.
Yes.
I can say that I've done that with several different words, and until I had the full inner and overstanding, and then applied it to the particular situation at hand.
Yes.
So when it comes to joy and happiness, or happiness and joy, I found for me that, the first thing I thought about was happiness, because that's what was being displayed around me. Most people were seeking to be happy. That's what they said it was. I mean, even to a point that most slogans have it in there, even something like, even for meals, a happy meal, a happy meal, it makes you happy, this sort of thing.
Yes, and the song, I'm happy, or what's the other one that was before that one?
Oh, don't worry, be happy.
Yes, don't worry, be happy. Yes.
So happy is put out there more than, let's say, joy. However, what I have found in my own personal life, and then being observant of other people, happiness comes and it goes. It comes and goes. It's like a moment. It's a spare of the moment. It's an activity that happens, or a reaction that happens based on you doing something.
Yes.
Which is atypically, that's good. I think that's good in one way. However, if we rest in that spot, then it doesn't have the endurance or the sustainability for you, because it's usually something that is happening external of yourself, that's making you happy. And of course, you've had to have been sad to even understand what happy is. What's the difference? So I'm walking down, or a little kid is walking down, and they're playing and jumping, and then they fall and hurt themselves. Okay, so now they're no longer happy. You
Yeah.
know, they can be sad now.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
they can be sad.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, maybe somebody comes along and gives them ice cream, you know,
That's very true.
and
Yeah.
gives them the
Yeah.
ice cream, and they're like, oh, so, you know, I'm so happy now. I got
Yep.
the ice cream. I feel
Yep.
better,
Yep.
you know, and we want things to, you know, comfort us and, you know, that sort of thing. Comfort us, make us feel good. However, you take that same kid or child, I should say, and they're jumping rope this time, and they're
Hmm.
jumping rope, and all of a sudden they fall, you know, and then they're no longer happy, but now they're sad again.
Yeah. It's
But
really.
you don't have the ice cream. You know what I mean? You don't have the ice cream cone. You know, it reminds me of the story or the joke that Eddie Murphy did about the ice cream. He was happy. He was so happy. I
Yeah.
got ice cream.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got, you know,
Yeah.
and then, you know, it gets knocked out of his hand. And then, okay, so what? Now the other kid's happy. You don't have no ice cream.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I say that in the full embodiment of now the child does not have an ice cream cone. So how do they deal with that?
That's true.
How do you deal with that? So
Exactly.
in my own personal life, yes, I've had to go through those moments where all of a sudden I'm really happy,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's what I took it as being
Yeah.
very happy.
Yeah.
This is a happy moment for me, you know. And then out of the blue, as soon as I'm in that moment, somebody comes across and disturbs that happiness. Um, so for me, it's happiness is temporary. It's quite temporary.
Yeah.
It's done with something that I need something external to make me happy. Happiness is there's nothing wrong with being happy.
No. No. Mm-mm.
Personally,
No. No.
I think
No.
there's nothing wrong with that. However, I do believe that we must understand what joy is.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
what I found through going through this myself, and of course, raising children, dealing with other people, um, and some that would get so taken back when something didn't go well. And we all know how things don't go well
Yeah.
oftentimes.
Yes, we
And
do.
you could just be so happy
Yeah.
a few, you
Yeah.
know, moments prior.
Yeah. Exactly.
However, it's kind of one of those things that you really have to tap in. And I had to tap in because I'm like, why all of a sudden? I got tired of feeling like I was in this joy and happy state.
Hmm.
And then,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
kind of
and
like
I was
someone
like,
bursting your bubble or
bubble, there it
whatever. Like,
is.
oh yeah, I'm feeling, happy, and then someone just comes and
There it
bursts it.
is.
Like you wouldn't want something that of that emotion that does bring you joy. Right?
Yes, it's hard
that
not
that
to,
is
yeah.
that is something that I'm sure everyone in this world is seeking.
Yeah.
So something of such importance to be very delicate where someone just can burst your bubble like
In
that.
a
I
moment's
wouldn't
notice.
I wouldn't want that. I
No,
don't think anybody would want that.
and that's the part that I start seeing for myself,
Mm,
because I would give over so much of myself to situations or people, in many respects, being a people pleaser.
okay.
So if
Yeah.
I got my happiness off of even giving out to people, you know, or doing for people, the moment that they don't show me what I believe that I should be receiving from them,
Yeah.
that takes away my happiness. And you
Mm,
know,
mhm.
then it's almost a lack of being fulfilled in many ways. So just going through that over and over again and just collecting myself, like really collecting myself, like, I don't know about this, but wait a minute, what is joy? And I remember the first time I heard about joy, um, and it was during the holiday seasons, because if you
Ah,
think
yeah,
about it,
yeah. They do
that's the
say
only
joy.
time you really hear
They
about
do say
joy.
joy more than
It's getting
anything.
better because, you know, as a collective the consciousness is waking up, but it was always joy. Have a holly jolly, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this sort of thing, and they
Mm-hmm.
were always throwing joy in blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
The first time I heard about it, and then I was like, and I actually looked it up, and I was like, okay, well, now this sounds about right. I want something that won't break, you
Mm.
know,
It's true.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
non-breakable. Not
yeah.
that you won't have moments, but this is how I found joy. And joy to me is having that inner quiet space, that peace part that doesn't leave. even when you're going through, you're able to
Mm.
muster up that energy to be able to say, okay, I can think about all of the good things I do have, even when you're in that state where you feel like, why didn't this go right? Or why didn't they, or why couldn't I, all those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, However, to me, it would be that particular spot that I realized, no, 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 no. I have to acquire something that had more sustainability than just being. I didn't want to be happy for a moment.
No, no.
I just didn't want to be happy for a moment anymore. So I looked at that part of having that peace from within. And so that peace from within helped create this part of joy for myself, that I would allow myself to tap into those things that did give me happiness for myself, if you follow what I mean.
Yes, yes, I do.
It is very, I've seen so many people go through that, like really hard. Not that you don't go through things that make you sad.
Yeah.
However, if you find a person that has the inner standing for themselves of those things that make them feel good, regardless of any external energy or force in it,
Yes.
that's you finding your joy. That's
Okay.
you finding and keeping that peace spot for yourself. So interchangeable, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
that peace and joy go hand in hand to me. Happiness is almost like the surface.
Okay, okay.
Happiness is the surface, and that peace and joy go hand in hand. Like they're the two elements that ring true. They always come back to you, because they're girded up through your own ability to have that space from yourself, from within. I mean, that might have been a long, drawn out, but I hope y'all feel me.
No,
You
no,
feel what I'm
most
saying?
definitely, most definitely.
Because it's really, it's life. Everybody goes through stuff. So you're going to go through different things. And what is that one thing that helps you bring yourself back to a place of being present and grateful? I would say it would be joy. It would be joy more than happiness. Joy, and I mean, joy to me expounds so deep, because with joy you can have gratitude. With joy you can have peace. With joy there's a comfort of foundation. It's not tossed to and fro. It's just there. It's just there. So that's what I believe when I would even say to you or anyone else. It was just like, no, baby, I know happiness is really good. Come along, if you're happy, yeah, okay, okay. When you're not happy, I still need you to rise to the occasion. I still need you to find something within yourself that makes you rise to the occasion. And I could say, I could see nothing more. Joy, that willpower, that peace, that sustainable thing that's within yourself. Yeah, this is what I think.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very, very, very profound. And I find that when it comes to, the media, the mainstream, we tend to really focus on like the surface level stuff, as you just said. Happiness is like, okay, joy, let's say joy is the seed in the ground, and happiness is the plant or whatever,
That also the leaves fall off.
Yeah.
They fall off.
And the leaves fall off.
They
but
have to
that seed,
regrow
those
again.
roots and all that
Yes.
still remain when you have that. And we tend to really focus on the surface level, where all the green is, all the, how do you say, the grass and stuff. But the roots is that deepness, and it's where, as you said, the soul, basically.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's the soul. Joy is in the soul.
Yes.
And also, as you said, happiness is on the external. It's like,
yeah, because we all can pretend.
Yeah, everyone can.
For a hot minute, they can really be going through some serious issues, and they can walk into a room and somebody's having a party, and a song can come on, and that would give them that happy.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah. And but then they try to revert back to where they are presently
within
themselves. it's a really tough one. And all I can say, it has to come with discipline.
Yes, exactly.
Disciplining yourself with that. Not to say that using the word happy is wrong, yet it's so loose. It is very, very loose. And then this time, critically in this time, spiritually we have to be aware of certain things. You know? Spiritually we have to be aware that there is a difference between saying I'm happy right now and I'm joyous forever. A joyous joy remains within my casing. I'm speaking for something that will constantly give me some form of balance, some form of centering. Where happiness is a temporary, case by case, case by case situation. I truly, I love all people, and everybody has a vibration based on themselves. I truly would like and really enjoy being around people that have that internal joy, because I know if we go through something, they're not going to be so crushed that they can't apply what we need to do as a collective team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they just got happiness, oh my God, it's almost like I got to do so much of a tap dance to get you to be active in your own life. And I myself have to do certain things for myself. So most definitely you got to do certain things for you too. And then you take those two people that can internally have joy, no matter what they're going through, they're going to see things through. They're still going to progress no matter what. I mean, it's been said oftentimes, they're like, what? You were going through that?
Yeah.
You were going through that. I know there's different measures and degrees that we all go through, and those that can take more in this area than others, this sort of thing. But everyone has to have that thing for themselves. And now it's so critical. It's so critical.
Yeah.
But I love seeing people smiling, happy, but that's the thing. I would see it, especially teaching classes, doing seminars. And I'm like, okay, she's seeming all happy, but okay, she's a little too happy, meaning it's a external expression. La, la, la. But then once I start to speak with her or him, then you're like, no, baby, okay, that was just out there for show. And oftentimes, all of us, I'm sure you guys as well, have run into somebody that was pretending to be happy. You know how?
Yeah, a lot of people have said,
how you doing?
Yeah. So, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
I
what
would
normally
be like,
happens.
do you really want to know?
It's true.
Of course, okay, I'm good. I I say, yeah, I'm good, but nah, I got some things.
Yeah.
There's some things right now that I'm really kind of focused on that they need some work at. Some people, oh well, I'm great. I'm going to, it's just wonderful. Things are happening. No, okay. A pep talk is one thing, but denial is a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
I think all of that expands over happiness and joy and being joyous. My personal opinion.
Yeah.
What's yours? What's yours? What's yours?
Exactly. Definitely.
Tell us.
Definitely in the comment section. Do
Yes.
tell us your opinion. You can ask some questions as well. Tell us your opinion, because we really would like to know your opinion about that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, there was a statement I read before, and it said that joy is a practice and a behavior. It's deliberate and intentional.
All right.
Happiness comes and goes swiftly along its way. So,
yeah,
it's a practice and behavior. Can you give a summary of what you have practiced with having more joy, so that people out there can try doing that as well? And even give a scenario where it was like, how the hell am I going to be joyful in this state?
Ooh.
And so, yeah, please do. So.
Ooh. there's so many that I had to like come to self with that. Like seriously. Um, mm, I would say one part that I didn't say earlier that I got to, of course, experience for the self, but also bear witness on behalf of other people. And that was family members, people very close to me, friends. Because they didn't have that joy, they would take it out externally. It was like, and they would put it into something that gives them that kick, which could be, alcohol, drugs,
Um,
eating food, da da
yeah,
da.
yeah.
Okay. I also myself, but that was more control, so I won't say that. I myself went into different phases because um, usually I was, as I said, I would try to give out to people to make them happy and want to see them smiling and joyful and this sort of thing. um, and that kind of worked as a double edge in many ways because number one, I was giving out and my cup wasn't full enough, it wasn't running over, and I was giving out even with good intentions, but I was putting it into someone who hadn't even drawn that for themselves, even. They
Okay.
were looking for that temporary fix, which you can get high off of people, interactions with
Yes.
certain things. But if it's not there all the time, then you kind of lose it. So with myself, uh, oftentimes it would be a drawing to the things that were just happening,
Okay.
or meaning there could be a situation like I'm out enjoying myself, having a good time with different people, and then I walk into a room or go into a room, and the energy that's in that room totally made what I felt was happiness
Hmm.
seem like it was getting diminished, or
Right.
kind of just
Right.
like,
Right.
what? So is this the people or the environment? And I found most of those people in that particular room were ones that were really into being happy. That quick, what do they call that? That aphrodisiac, that
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that,
The fix or
the quick
whatever. Yeah.
fix, da
Yeah.
da da
Exactly.
da. And as soon as I would see them go up and then they would crash. And mines usually happen. So that's how I got the balance. Mines usually happened when I was trying to give out something that I needed to keep for myself and build it and learn it and gird it into someone else, and doing it continuously to get that person to be happy. But they didn't, it was based on how they perceive happiness for them. So I was more in a I could see both sides. What I was doing to get the happiness and what the people that were external of me were operating in to be happy. And once I start releasing people, that was the biggest thing for me. Once I start releasing that attachment to, it could be for other people, maybe a game or, a toy, something of this sort, being a food. Once I start releasing people from that spot, then I had to bring it back to myself to realize that, okay, this here is something that everybody has to develop for themselves. And I would walk into situations with this inner like joy for myself, the things, thinking about the things that made me happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And once I realized that these things that I looked at to make me happy were actually things that were my concrete foundation.
Okay. Okay.
They
Okay.
were the foundational principles that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really happiness, that's something you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a, joyous state.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It was something that regardless of wherever I went, that's what I started paying attention to.
Okay.
Wherever I was, if I had this, or I was doing that, or um, I was taking time to even just sit in my place to be observant of anything else, I had peace. I was enjoying, and that didn't matter, no matter, anywhere I went, I was able to, tap into that. And I realized, oh my God, this is my joy spot here.
Got it.
I'm
Got it.
enjoying this regardless of that person, this situation, that I start bringing and drawing more of that towards me. So my interaction, of course, started to change as well. Not that I wouldn't interact with people that were more vibing on being happy. However, I knew for myself, hmm, even if I'm in a room full of people that are dancing, to maybe this type of music, okay, that's not a vibration. I'm going to stay in here too long. However, okay, well, they can do that. I can be over here sitting,
Yeah.
watching this, looking at that, enjoying them
Yeah.
do their thing. So my thing was enjoyment of seeing other people in a state of happiness.
Okay. Okay.
So I got joy out of that. That's why I was giving over.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of thing, just
Mm-hmm.
giving over because I wanted to see that externally. I desired that for myself. Yet I thought that I could get that by pouring into people that particular state. People will only take that which they're ready to eat of.
Okay. Yeah.
But I got to identify myself by looking at, no matter where I am in the world, if I'm doing this, and that in this particular state, I'm good.
Mm.
I found that place of enjoyment, which was serious. I had to find it. And from coming out of different trauma areas, I realized that most people say, you build them, most people with trauma, they build a shell, they
Yeah.
build certain things. Well, I did that. I was doing that. And so in that particular shell, I was building internally, but also blocking certain things
Okay. Okay.
from interacting with me. And those things that I chose to allow in to interact with me, I got to see the balance of those things for myself as well as others. And I started holding on to the things that I could conjure up myself, that I can keep within myself. So, long story short, now is that particular side of taking the elements that you're able to embody for yourself, no matter what you're going through, um, and being able to feed it back to yourself in your time of need. Because going through trauma also teaches you that.
Yeah.
If you allow yourself to face the trauma, you got to face the trauma. Um, but it allows you to build that particular side where you'll take out those areas that bring you joy no matter what. So smelling, because some people smell a flower, planting, the simple, sometimes the most simplest things. Painting, I used to love painting and writing. So I started to look at the things that could really be done within my own embodiment instead of, externally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's major. It's absolutely major.
Yeah.
Major for me.
Yeah, and it that is major too, because you said within your own embodiment, and we can even extend to having that in relationships with people. You know how some people say, "Oh, you make me happy," or "Okay, you make me joy," this sort of thing. So, how is that having that within yourself and being in a relationship? How does that affect you? And then when you don't have it, don't have that joy within yourself, or looking for someone else to bring that to you, how is that as well? So those twofold type of thing.
No, that's a really, for myself, it was a tough one. Because you can't make somebody have something that you have. You know what I mean? You can let's say what you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. And they can look at it. It can actually blow up in your face in many ways. Not that we're not supposed to be there for a person in that state, but when it comes to a relationship, oh boy, that's a whole nother thing. You could be a very positive person. Let's look at another word for that. A positive person, highly positive, and you're with somebody that's very negative. How you it, it has dualities that finding the balance there means that both would have to be willing to come to the middle of that and find a mutual ground so they can grow in that, because it'll eat you up. It'll eat you up. Yeah, it'll eat away, or I should say chip away at the parts that you found for yourself,
Okay.
because you found them and you have them, and the person that's external of you hasn't tried to do their own work in that area or attempting to do it. And if they're not, then they will smother. They, not even sometimes intentionally, they'll smother that particular side because they haven't done it for themselves. So they're going to need to fuel. If they're always negative and you're pouring out the positive or the joy increments that you've taken in your own casing, they're coming to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to feed. We feed. We exchange energy. And then if you're, oh, of course you are, as if you're in a relationship, you're going to have intimacy moments. That's a big one. I dealt with that one. The intimacy moments, you're exchanging spirit. You're absolutely exchanging spirit. Where I have been in a relationship where the person was more negative, and I thought, okay, they've just been through some hard things, and then I had to realize, wait a minute, I've been through some hard stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Handle it differently.
We all deal with situations differently.
Yeah.
However, you have to have a mutual ground to say, okay, we're going to help work through this. And the depth of that is when you don't, like I've experienced, that transfer of spirit definitely comes in the intimacy. Because I'm up and da da da, and then you engage in intimacy, da da da, and okay, you're fine because you're up. Most of your body is on a natural, how we call it, autopilot.
Yeah.
You're up, you know what you're doing, da 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 da, and then out of the blue, you feel, why do I, why did whatever that person did right there just make me go from 0 to 100? Boom. That's trivial. Why am I doing that? What is that? And then if you start to act out, if you start to act out on certain things, then you start to look around and go, wait a minute, this isn't me. And I found myself, I must say that, in my 50 years young,
Yeah.
ancient though, ancient.
Yes, ancient one. Ancient
I
one.
have found that I have said that at least 3 times in my life. This isn't my life. And I was in an intimate relationship. And what I later realized, or actually in that moment realized, I had taken on the energy and spirit of the person I was with. And I was like, it was clear because they would even, one time you can be a mirror,
Yeah.
and the next time now you're taking on the form of a manifestation of that. And then to hear the person say back to you the very things that they were being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that they are, you got to, shadow it. So I clearly had to take that on. So I own my own part in that, which is another thing, because that will help you decipher the happiness and the joy and being joyful.
Yeah.
Because you got to own your own stuff.
Yes, exactly.
But it was one of those things that, okay, wait a minute, I've taken on the embodiment of this person's energy, and it's not servicing me. All of the things that I had concretely had for the self and didn't need any external forces, started being, it's like creeping up on me, smothering out that particular side, because somehow I felt like I needed to go outside of myself to have this blissful state or happy state. But I was engaging and in love with people that their energy was lower.
Yeah, yeah. And in that case, from your experience, what is a suggestion for that, for a person that is like the positive one, the joyful one, and their partner isn't?
You have to have
How,
some.
like, it's like one of those things you either just gotta, because if you love them or whatever,
Right.
you either just gotta deal with it or you just have to cut it because
Well,
in a
I think
way it's
the
still,
biggest thing is to have that conversation.
yeah, to have the conversation, to have the conversation, and if they're not willing,
No,
then that's something. But have a conversation
yeah,
first, you said.
that's most of I in all of the ones the relationships that I'm mentioning, I had the conversation
Mm.
because I was noticing something with myself. Like, wait a minute, hold on, okay, I'm feeling a bit drained because now I'm putting out where my cup is no longer overflowing
Yeah.
because I'm also embodying that same energy of that person that likes that temporary high.
Got it. Got it.
They like that temporary high, and I'm just like, okay, this is temporary. I used to say that oftentimes too when
Mm.
a gentleman would come, oh, you want a date and da 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 whatever. I'm like, baby, I am a marathon. I and I will say that most of my relationships, actually all of them, were durations of
Yes.
time.
Yeah. It's very true.
They,
Yeah.
they were long
Hmm.
long relationships. I mean, so I'm in it to win it. I'm in there, and however, you got to know when you got to
Yes.
tap out. You got to tap out. No amount of money, no amount of oof, prestige. You got to love yourself and that person enough to go. Nah, this is. You like that temporary high, which actually you go out and you get it, and then you crash.
Yeah. Then you got to deal with the
Then I
crash.
gotta do exactly that part. That part. And most people don't realize that. And that can be girl or woman or man.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hello.
Hmm.
Man or woman, it can be either one. And I've seen it with women, men just trying to just keep her happy. Or is she like those bliss? You want your women to feel like, oh, that's it, da, da, da. But you want her to be more joyful than anything. It's sustainable. It's a foundation.
Yes. Yes, it
As
is.
do the man. So that's why you would do things or have that conversation so you can keep it where it's 100.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I love you, but you're not willing to do this part, and I'm not willing to stay in this like this. And that, I truly believe that would be being fair to each other.
Yeah.
It's
It's true.
totally being fair to
It's
each
true.
other.
Yeah.
No, 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 I can't. They typically, usually, one or the other realizes, okay, I get what they mean.
Mm.
And it's like a dark cloud, though. People, sorry, it's really like a dark cloud that stays there when we talk about those that just embody having those quick fix of just being high, being high and happy right now. Let me just be high and happy. Oh, it's really, really quick. And eventually, because they may not be getting enough of that, what do you call it? Happiness,
Yeah. Those
you,
sparks and stuff
you
like
know,
that. Yeah. Hmm.
then they start carrying a cloud. I know some of y'all done felt that when you walk around certain people
Yeah.
in the energy space, they're carrying a certain cloud. And with that comes all the other things that lay beneath that depression, anger, anxiety, it starts to form. This is what I would say is the most valuable thing that I learned about being happy over being joyous. Most of the people that I've run into in my life have been the happy people. And when things start to happen to them, that gets kind of snuffed out. And then it creates a ball of these other elements: anger, dissatisfaction, self doubt. It starts to create things that you really don't want. Whereas the people that looked beyond the exterior, that had that inner joy, even if it was one thing that they love to do, paint, to go outside or read a book, that sort of thing, listen to music. I love listening to classical. Classical would get me just like, dude, okay, I'm good, whatever. Those people tend to be able to weather any storm. It's character traits. It's definitely character traits. But most of them weather most of the storms, and the ones that were happy temporarily, I got to see that energy and feel that vibration, and it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a good one. No, not for them, because they went into a complete depression.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a big element that harbors um, and becomes like an amoeba to depression and things. I dealt with that as well,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just you really have to take on and want to do some homework on yourself. That's my thoughts on it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That's why you were a sage with that
Oh, that's
aspect
one of those
because
things, yeah, that
yeah,
people be like, oh,
yeah.
anytime I listen to a master teacher or somebody who's been through, and when I say been through, they've actually taken it on themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they've owned it, they've seen it externally, they've walked through it, and they've come out the other side
Yeah.
with having wisdom on it. Not that that's cool though. I mean, when they're going through the process, I don't think nobody actually
Oh
likes it
no.
going through the
No.
process. You just like, what?
No.
I had to do all that. However, you do have all of us do have the ability to be able to learn from somebody else's experience
Mm.
without you jumping down a rabbit hole. Hello. With them,
Yeah.
you can learn from other people's experiences. Take that and embody that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. You can. So you can kind of do a leap. You're still going to have a process in everything you do. However, to have those proper steps, navigation system, moral
Yes.
compass,
Yes.
you can learn by watching somebody else make a mess or win.
Yeah. It's true.
So,
Yeah.
joy, happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I like them both. Personally,
Exactly.
let me walk in joy
Mm-hmm.
and also get some happiness. Like
Yes. Yes.
when we
Exactly.
finish, I'm going to have a piece of cake, and that's going to make me temporarily happy.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. I'm very, very happy with that. Oh, happy or joyful. See, happy,
That's good.
joyful with this topic. As is it is of great importance to everyone because
Yes, it
everyone's
is.
seeking it. Everyone is seeking it.
Most definitely.
So really to close off this segment
Yes, segment.
I'm
She's
just
tongue
going
tied, y'all.
exactly to close off this segment. I'll just say a few more quotes about joy and happiness that
Make
are
sure, I'm sorry, make sure you
quite
get your tablet now. I write them down.
exactly.
Write them down.
Exactly. So a few more quotes about joy and happiness. So joy is a little word. Happiness is a bigger word. Joy is in the heart. Happiness is on the face.
Mm, mm,
Joy is of the soul.
mm-hmm,
Happiness is of the moment.
mm,
Joy
mm,
embraces peace and contentment, waiting to be discovered.
mm.
Joy transcends.
That's it.
Happiness reacts.
Oh, that's it.
Joy runs deep and overflows, while happiness hugs hello. Joy is an inner feeling. Happiness is outward expression. And I really, really, really do like this one.
Mm.
Joy endures hardship and trials
Yeah, exactly.
and connects with meaning and purpose.
Oh my gosh, do you know? Oh my gosh, how about I was trying to hold back the
Yeah,
tears too.
I didn't expect that
I
one.
did. I'll say
Oof.
this. Give you a break because yeah,
Yeah.
that's so good. However, I did. I connected this with the ascension of my twin boy. Um, her twin brother. Yes, I was listening to that, and what came to mind was that was a state for me that I had to tap into that joy because there I have two twin vibrant children playing da da da, and one ascends. And you go through the state of shock. You're going through a shock state, you know? And I had to, I went through the shock, you know, I went through the shock, the form of screaming and all this. And then I had to come into a space within myself and talk and speak to myself internally. However, the depth of that was I had to find that joyful spot of what and who he was in my life in those times that he was here, and use that as joy. So oftentimes this is a thing that people get crossed up as well, is when, even for myself, and you just now, when you start to cry and people are crying, and it's because of the emotion of that joy, that blissful state that can't be taken. It can't be taken. You hear me? When you have that, it cannot be taken no matter what you go through. It can't be taken. You have to give it away. You have to give it away. So that experience, one, but that was a great one, a big one for me. I realized I had to take hold of that space of joy that he gave me and gave us while he was around me, and every essence, and hold on to that. And every time I thought of him, it was of a joyous state that helped me push my way through the actual physical removal of him, but have that inner joy and peace within, that I know that, yeah, this is good. This is good. And it caused me to always show up, to continue showing up. Now, not just for myself, but his twin sister. I gotta keep going. Wow, that this is taking the difference from just being happy and from having joy to a whole nother level. As you just read, oh my God, you have to read that again. And I'm going to stop talking, but real talk, it made me so tap in. That was one of the biggest things that I realized, wow, I have to take hold of the joy, this state of joy, what I got to feel, because it was from within. I got to use that to keep me going, to enjoy, to embody that particular state. Because happiness, that was temporarily. I was having his physical skin, his physical casing next to me. That was something that was temporary. But the experience is eternal. It's eternal. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe divines, like, listen, seriously, take your time, just observe that in your own life. Like, really take time, observe that in your own life. What makes you happy and what makes you have joy? What is that those things, that those elements from within that keep you joyful no matter what you're going through? I love your statements. I'm going to say ashe to the divine, ashe, ashe to you guys, as we all tap in. We all need to tap in. And please read that one for them again. It they were good. They're good. They were really, really good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Joy is a little word. Happiness.
Yes.
The whole thing. Joy is a little
Yeah.
word. Happiness is a bigger word. Joy is in the heart. Happiness is on the face. Joy is of the soul. Happiness is of the moment. Joy transcends. Happiness reacts. Joy embraces peace and contentment, waiting to be discovered. Joy runs deep and overflows. happiness, while happiness hugs hello. Joy is an inner feeling. Happiness is an outward expression. Joy endures hardship and trials. It connects with meaning and purpose. I say is Ashe, Asheo, Asheo.
I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Yeah.
See you.
Woo. Glad I get some joy.
Yes, Ashe. I have some joy too.
Besitos to you.
Right.
Besitos to you.
Mm-hmm.